Right, Strongman fam, welcome back to the MST Systems YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be talking about you little young fuckers that keep DMing me, because I am getting so many DMs recently on my Instagram from like 19, 18-year-old, 17-year-old strongmen asking me shit. You're all making the same mistakes I made, so I'm going to tell you some fucking shit. This video is going to be, if I could go back in time and look at my gimpy 18-year-old self, what would I tell myself to help me with strength training? Obviously I'm slipping some Bitcoin investment and some other shit, but what would I do for my strength training goals? So that hopefully, maybe 1 out of 100 of you will listen to me. But this is the thing about giving young people advice ever, is nobody ever listens, do they? Because you've just got to figure this shit out for yourself. But maybe if you're smarter than me, maybe you'll listen to some of this advice and it will help you a ton. Because if you want to go, like, let's say your goal is to go world's strongest man. If you do it the way I did it, then you'd have to be very lucky, because I was lucky because I only got a couple of years into fucking it up before I figured it out for myself. But most people can go 10 years fucking it up, to be honest with you. So I'm going to tell you the best way to do shit for strength training. You're 18 years old, you've got a shitty little job, or maybe you ain't got a job, you live at home, you play cards, you fucking beat your meat, and you train now and again, and you fucking in my DMs asking me if you should take gear, and if you should do this, and if you should do that, and what the fuck should you do? Now, I'm going to tell you straight what you fucking need to do and what I would tell myself. So what I did when I was 18 is every single thing I did revolved around training. If I got a job and its hours conflicted with the time I like to train, I wouldn't go, I would leave. If I got offered overtime, I wouldn't do any fucking overtime because I needed to go train. Even, get this right, I didn't learn to drive till I was like 20, because from 17 to 18, whenever it is you learn to drive, I just spent all my money on supplements. Because I was on discount supplements, I was ordering Gaspari Super Pump 250, fucking every other Muscle Tech fucking whatever. Oh God, because I was like, well, I ain't spending money on driving lessons, man. I can fucking, I can buy my, Muscle Tech shit and Super Pump 250, and I need my whey protein. God, I want to slap myself. So here's what you need to do, right? You need to prioritize a lot more shit than training. You need to learn to drive 100%, and you need a car. That should be a focus. If you're buying steroids, if you're buying protein, if you're buying fucking OnlyFans, and you ain't paying for driving lessons and saving up for a car, you're doing it wrong. Get a car. You might not even think this, but getting a car and focusing on that and being able to fly around everywhere will help your training more than you expect, because you'll be able to go to different gyms, you'll be able to train with different people, you'll be able to meet different people, you'll be able to be a fucking adult. Crazy. I didn't do that until I was 20 because I was too busy spunking my money on discount supplements. Now, the next thing I would do is focus on a career. The reason being is because even if you're going to make it in strength training, even if you are going to go worlds, even if there is a potential career for you there, it ain't going to be for a while. So what you need to do is you need to make sure that you are thinking about your job, your future, your career, and making some money. Trust me. Strongman is an expensive sport, all right? Especially if you want to, be the best athlete you can possibly be with the things we have today. You need to buy things like growth. You need to buy things like, your PEDs. They're not the most expensive thing in the world, but then you need to buy your blood tests. You need to just, get all this stuff that kind of starts coming. The food, the gym memberships, the equipment, etc. It's an expensive sport. And if you're just working at a random job with absolutely no career plans, because one day you're going to pull 500 and make it, and you're going to make thousands of pounds pulling 500, then you're doing it wrong. So make sure that you give yourself a career path. Make sure you give yourself a direction that you're going to go that's going to earn you money, because you're going to be able to be more successful at your sport if you have a little bit of financial backing from yourself. Instead of focusing on, oh, if I do this, everybody will give me stuff. Let me tell you something. No one gives you shit. No one gives you shit. All right, you got to earn stuff yourself and do stuff yourself. So you need to make sure you set yourself a proper career and a proper pathway to earn money. And that will indirectly help your training, because you'll be able to just do whatever you want, whenever you want, train wherever you want, whenever you want, eat what you want, etc. If you don't think these things through, then you're setting yourself up for failure. Now that I've got those two main points out the way, the reason why I say the driving one, by the way, guys, is the amount of kids I see nowadays that won't learn to drive. They just won't learn to drive because they're too busy spunking the cash, you know, everywhere else other than on driving lessons and stuff. It's mind-blowing. A mate of mine, he knows who he is, he's flying around on a fucking scooter at the moment because he calls it a bike, it's a scooter, but he's flying around on a scooter because he won't pass his fucking driving test. It opens up so many avenues if you can drive and get places and see people. Trust me, everyone loves the scooter in the summer, okay? When it's fucking -5, you ain't going to be wanting to fly down the motorway to go train with some top athletes or top coaches, are you? So the next thing is when you're 18, this is a real issue with people, by the way, at a young age. Just everybody in general, really. Issue with me, issue with everybody. Your view on time is all fucked up. Like, you have no idea of time. All right, you've been born, you've been locked up in primary school, you've been locked up in high school, and now you've been let loose into the wild. You have no idea of time and how fast it goes in anything. They make these like long-term plans that are long-term, 6-month plans they make. Fuck off. Make a 15-year plan, yeah? A 15-year plan. Because to be good at strength sports, it takes a while. If you do not understand that, then you're a fucking idiot. It takes a long time, a very long time. 15 years, in my opinion, is a realistic time scale for you to become the best athlete you can be possible. When you make a 15-year plan, what you need to understand then is that if you're going to peak around year 13 to 15, yeah, the last 2 years, it'll suddenly switch your brain away from steroids. Because the amount of kids that DM me that are on gear at 18, and you don't need to be on steroids at 18 at all. Like, at all. You're not even fully mature yet. Your muscles, your morphology hasn't even settled in yet. You're actually, if anything, well, actually, I'm not going to tell you, there's actually a bit of opposite of what I'm going to say going on here, actually, to be perfectly straight with you, but I'm going to say it for your health because it's better for you. Don't do the PEDs young. Okay, don't do them. Save them, because let's say you've got these 15 years to achieve this goal that you want to do, all right? If you take PEDs, it's going to decrease the time you can spend doing the sport. It's going to decrease your longevity in the sport. If you start taking steroids at 18, even if you're not smashing them or abusing them, even if you think you know everything about them because you're an 18-year-old kid who's read a lot of forums, you've watched a lot of YouTube, I know fucking everything, I'm the fucking Don, I have watched every single video on all these channels, I know more plates, more dates, YouTube at the back of my... I don't give a fuck. In 10 years' time, when you're 28 years old, you will have a load of side effects from the steroids. You will have used gear for 10 years at that point. Do you know how I know? Because I have used gear for about 13 years and I have all these issues, even though I know more than you. So it's just the way it goes, guys. You use stuff for a long time, you get long-term side effects that creep up. Things that you don't think about, things that you don't even read about or hear about, and you go, oh, that's a thing. Like, I didn't know this was a thing. This is now a thing. So yeah, if you waste 10 years, then that means you're 28 years old and you're already getting a little anxious, because when you're 28, you'll be a little bit more knowledgeable, you'll be a little bit more cautious, you're nearly 30, you'll be thinking about long term, you'll have probably got a missus by this point, you'll probably got your own house, you'll probably got other shit going on in your life other than slinging tin, and you'll be thinking to yourself, maybe I should tone down this gear. I've been on it 10 years now, you know what I mean? You don't want to be in that boat, especially when you've still got another 5 or 6 years left before you've hit your kind of 15-year plan, do you? I would personally say, if you're an 18-year-old kid, like, I would, if it was me and I was talking to myself, I'd say, mate, wait till 25. I'd be like, wait till 25. And even 25, that's young in my, like, that's young. But I know me, I'd be fucking staring at Trent online for probably 4 years by 25, wanting to take it. So yeah, I'd tell myself to wait till 25. That way, when you start using gear for 10 years, at least you're 35 by the time you got to that 10-year point, you know what I mean? But by the time you're in your 30s, that's when I believe your strength should peak, is in your early 30s to kind of mid-30s, I believe strength peaks in most people. So yeah, if you do the gear at 25-ish, at least you're kind of in tune with that. What you don't want to be doing is you don't want to be reaching peak maturity and peak strength potential whilst harbouring a lot of side effects from the gear that you did from 18, do you? You know what I mean? That way you kind of like, you can got conflicting shit going on, haven't you? Your body's primed and ready and mature for, you know, pure strength potential and strength extraction, but you've rattled the fucking thing with gear for 15 years, so you're hanging on by a thread and your heart's bigger than your fucking chest. So I would personally say wait till at least 25 to do that. Also, another thing I would do is, if I was a young kid wanting to get good at strongman, I would 100% take a year out to do weightlifting, take a year out to do CrossFit. They are the two best things I did for my strength training. I did weightlifting for nearly 2 years actually, I did CrossFit for a year. You will thank me in 5 years if you do that. If you just learn, just become a pure weightlifter. Join a weightlifting club, get weightlifting coaching, forget about strongman, learn how to snatch, learn how to clean and jerk. It will change you as an athlete. It will change your neurology, it will change your intermuscular coordination, it will change your power output, power transfer, force transfer, proprioception. It will change all these things so drastically. Like I say, if you make a 15-year plan, you can be like, oh, this year is weightlifting, this year is CrossFit, this year I'm going to get back into an accumulation skill block on strongman, this time I'm going to do intensification phase. You know, you can make these proper plans if you give yourself a 15-year plan. If you just look 6 monthly, you ain't going to do it. Too many kids nowadays, at you're 18 years old, you look at fucking juniors. Oh, I've got juniors in 8 months, so I need to do juniors. Motherfucker, you're 18. Juniors is until 23 or something. Like, take a year out, weightlift. Take the next year out, do CrossFit. Learn how to do all these fucking learn how to walk on your hands. Learn how to do muscle ups, all this shit. You don't think that's beneficial? Look at Lissus. Lissus can fly around on a fucking monkey bar. You know what I mean? He can muscle up. You know, there's skills and transfer to all these things that you need to get. So instead of looking so short term, look long term, look 15 years. Make yourself a plan to be the ultimate athlete. People ask me all the time, like, how I got so good at all the things I do. Like how can you snatch, Shane? Because if you don't know, I've got 140 kilo snatch, I've got 170 kilo clean and jerk, I've jerked 200 kilos with a 190 strict log. I've now got a 120 dumbbell. I've yoked 400 kilo, 20 meters in 10 seconds. I have farmers walked about 80 kilo for 5 meters, don't ask. Powerlifting, I've done an 880 kilo powerlifting total at 90 kilo body weight, squatted 355, deadlifted 340, and bench pressed 240 with a touch and go, or 220 in comp pause with one leg. So I've done all these things. They didn't happen from training strongman. These happened from like the 15 years I've been training, taking time out on each one. But then now, if you took me in a gym now, like Shane, do a snatch, I'd be able to boss out a good snatch. I'd be able to boss out a good clean and jerk. I'd be able to boss out, you know, a powerlifting bench press or powerlifting low bar wrapped back squat, or I could do a high bar Olympic style back squat, you know, or I can transition for all these skills. So when you give me a strongman competition, I can be like, right, I know all these things. Let's make my training block to get even better at them for this next 6 weeks. And then boom, I can go to the competition and smash it. If you look too short term, you're going to restrict yourself from all these different stimuluses that you can get and all these different sports and all the transfer you can get, etc. Is there anything else to tell myself? Let me have a quick think. That'll probably be it. Well, maybe tell myself to do more cardio. But I'm still trying to keep to that promise myself now. So I don't think I stick to it. Anyway, hope that helps some of you young little fuckers out. Maybe 1% of you that listen to this will actually take it on board, and I really hope you do, guys. Because trust me, if you want to be the best athlete that you can be, that info will really help. And I wish I knew that myself. I wish somebody would have forced that into my brain and I just had to listen, because it would have been so much better for my life. Anyway, in a bit.